sustainable system in saving lives, preventing disability, and promoting early recovery of all trauma and emergency cases. Our next speaker will be Rahul Prakash Singh sir. Rahul Prakash Singh sir is the regional manager with Save Life Foundation, a non-profit organization committed to saving lives on roads in India since 2008. He leads the implementation of organization's road safety initiatives at national and state level. Rahul is a DAAD fellow and postgraduate in development studies from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai. He has extensive experience in development research, policy advocacy, and program implementation. He is an ex-Indian Air Force and has keen interest in geopolitics of development. I would like to share here is that Save Life Foundation is the foundation which has just filed the PIL based on which the Good Samaritan's law has been passed. So now I'll request Rita ma'am to please take over the session. Ma'am.
Good morning, everybody. Hello. Am I audible? Hello. Very good morning. I hope everybody had a nice sleep in the campus and had a good breakfast. So before I start my presentation, anybody medical doctor from the audience? You are a medical doctor? You're not audible?
I think the speakers are not.
Hello. 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 Now audible? Any medical doctor in the audience? Okay, great. So I have two foolish people in the camp because I am also a medical doctor. So all learned people, only two foolish people. And I will prove how. So we are talking about Mission Zero Death, post-accident trauma management. Sir has already spoken about the Radhi Foundation. I started Radhi Foundation absolutely of not my wish. It was the Maharashtra government helped me, showed me the vision of what work I was doing it and how the foundation will make a difference. And that's the way the Radhi Foundation started. So, thank you. So, because I was talking about right help should be the concept, not the early help should be the concept. And over a period of my presentation you will understand the difference of right help and early help. We wanted to save the life, but we also wanted to ensure that we don't gift anybody disability life. It sounds so very good to us that we saved one life, but we gifted one disabled life. Are those people happy with that disabled life? Are the family members happy with the disability of their family members? Many times as a doctor I say, we have to die with one day. I as a doctor know 1,000 reasons for writing into the medical certificate. So one of the causes is road accident. The chapter overs. Of course, the loss cannot be filled up, but at least the family member don't suffer. Psychological suffer, the missing thing is a very different thing, and taking care of a disabled person for a lifelong is a different thing. So our objective was saving the life and preventing disability with the mission Zero Death. Yesterday with the opening remark, our Honorable Nitin Gadkari sir said, 1,55,000 plus road accident death in the Indian roads. And he has a vision. By 2025, 50% accident deaths should reduce, and by 2030, we should reach to the vision almost zero. It is possible. But why it is not possible till now we could not achieve, and what should be done, I'll be talking on that. In his speech, I stress again, he mentioned about the transport and police department should come together to work on road safety and reduce the fatalities. So when you go to any road safety conference, first slide will be what? Number of death. Second point will be number of injuries. And third point will be number of accidents. So we all are concerned with the fatalities. Am I correct? If there was no fatality, only accident would have happened without fatalities. Will the road safety topic will exist? No, it will not exist. You can see the number. You have seen this number n number of times. I want to see you in little different way. In 2000, 3,91,000 accidents happened and 79,000 people died. Mind well, that time, first FRI then treatment law was existing. Ambulance service were not available, or if they were available, they were discarded vehicle, discarded Maruti van, something like that was a ambulance. Healthcare infrastructure, what today technology, advanced technology what we have, which was not existing in 2000. But you can see if I divide total number of accidents by the total number of people killed, it means 4.94 accident versus 1 death. Let's come to 2021. Number of accidents from 3,91,000 is become only 4,03,000. The vehicle is increased 7 times more. Road infrastructure increased much more. Better roads are there. Everything is much better. In 2000 there was no helmet, no seat belt, nothing was there. So we are doing lot many good advancement in the prevention of the accidents, and we have been successful. But number of people killed, 1,55,000. Disability rate, more than 2.5 lakh annually people have become disabled. So I just said in 2021 the medical field is advanced like anything. We have a well-equipped ambulances, we have so many people working in road accidents. But the result with every effort, we have killed more people. Agree or disagree?
Agree. But there's one more thing. That's a very interesting thing is about 2020. Lockdown year has just a minor dip, very minor dip.
Yes. But the percentage when you see it is now 2.59 accident versus 1 death. So we have double in 21 years, we have double the fatalities, where the accidents have almost not increased at all.
Just one small contention, ma'am. About 2021, it's that's also partially lockdown year.
Yes.
So that number may change.
Increase.
Yeah.
But let's stick with this number right now, because that is also make all of us to rethink, okay, what are we doing it. So let's see what we are doing it. So when road safety we talk, it's accident prevention and post-accident management. Is it clear? That is a two topic. Road accident and post-accident management are two different topic, two different expertise. I again stress, and highest priority should be given to what? We have extremely worked in the first topic very well. As you all know, out of 1 lakh population, only 36 accidents happen. Let's see further data. So our vision should be reduce accident fatalities by 50% by 2025. Is it possible? Everybody is now thinking how it will be possible. Has it thought in everybody's mind? All are you with me? If it will possible, if we develop a system, so every accident victim is handled scientifically and holistically. Stabilization should happen in golden hour. Curative treatment should start in 4 hours, and approach should be right help and early help. The vision should be achieved by holistically addressing every smallest aspect of trauma management. So we all talk about golden hour, golden hour. So golden hour means first responder, ambulance and hospital. Are you with me? Okay. Now let's see what we are doing in golden hour. Let's understand what our current practice in golden hour. Moment you see accident, moment you see blood. What is the reaction? Interactive session. I don't want to talk alone. What will be reaction? %80 audience is police department. They are the first responder. So what is the reaction? Yeah. First reaction is we all get concerned, panic, sympathy, and how fast we take this person to the hospital. Correct? How fast? That fast mind and blood. People also want us to take the victim on the earliest to the hospital. Am I correct? Crowd may not be helping, but they will be putting some mob pressure on the people around. Please take them. We want to save the life. We want to save the life. Take them to the hospital on the earliest. So we have a good Samaritan law also for that. Extremely need of our was a good Samaritan law. Encouraging people to come forward and help the accident victim. So who is first responder? The person who is present at the site of incident. We can call them as a good Samaritan if he is helping the accident victim to take to the hospital. Am I correct? And then we do lots of awareness sessions now to promote the good Samaritan law. Are we doing all? Then we have started the training of the good Samaritan. And this training is for the classroom hours of 3 to 2 days. So the target audience for this training is police, community people, students. We have identified black spots nowadays. So all the people who are near the black spot are also being trained. Trained in what? 3 hours to 2 days training. Basic life support, advanced life support, CPR. CPR is like, so must for the training. And all this content is in the classroom. Some demo will happen in the classroom peace period. And who are the trainer? It can be any lay lecturer who has copied his entire presentation. Nowadays, internet is the best. You can copy anything and everything and you can become expert in a day. PhD doctors and occasionally medical doctor. Again I say medical doctor means every medical doctor may not expertise in trauma management, because medical field is a huge, vast. So trauma management again remains an emergency care expertise. Retention of knowledge. So this august audience is sitting for 2 days over here. And if we take exam at the end of the day, of all the presentation been done yesterday and today, how many is confident to get 35%? How many is confident to get 50%? How many of you are confident to get 70%? How many? How many, ma'am? Okay.
More than 50% will get, above 60%.
Okay. So on behalf of the august audience, a ma'am is claiming most of you all will get 60%. Why you will get 60%? Because you are part of this topic. You have been addressing this road safety since many time. And most of the presentation were the refresher. But suddenly if you are learning something new in a day, if 8 topic, 10 topic have been delivered, so ma'am, will you be confident of getting 35%? Her answer is no on behalf of the entire audience, ma'am. And that is also classroom training. Huh? Ideal situation training. Do we see similar ideal situation in the road? Are we seeing that? Then ambulance drivers training. Some of the organizations have started this also. Again, this is a classroom training. Same way, what is the content of the first responder training? Similar content is the for the ambulance driver also. Lay lecturers, everything is same. Again, the retention of knowledge is very important. You know, to become a two foolish people of this audience, I had to score 90+% in 12th. My passing percentage in college was minimum 50 every year, then only I can go to the second year. And along with my theory, my college starts at 7 a.m., finishes at 6 p.m., medical college. And then every day, right from the first year, second term, I started seeing the patient. I got a degree, but that wasn't enough. I had to go 1 year of 12 hours to 24 hours of rigorous internship. Then only I got a license to practice. Again, I was seeing the patient every day. No, that wasn't enough. Every year, I have to attend CME of 12 points. 1 point is equal to minimum 3 hours. If I don't give that 12 hours of CME certificates, then my license to practice doesn't exist. So retention of practice, because smallest error with the patient can be fatal, can be complicated, can make the patient suffer more. My job as a doctor is to save a life, reduce the pain, cure the patient. Exactly, that's the reason you go to doctor. Correct? Okay. Now some people have started training the doctors also, some organization. And then yesterday somebody was telling me, doctors don't come to our training. Why should they come? You are teaching them which they have learnt in the first year. Then some organization, government also is funding for the infrastructure, setting up a trauma center everywhere. setting up, buying the new ambulances, funding for the new equipments. So best practice India has in this many years. We have commitment of our Honorable Transport Minister. Fatalities will reduce by 50% in 2025, and we will be able to reduce by almost zero by 2030. I don't want to speak, which is already previous speakers have spoken. We have funding issue? Absolutely no. Supreme Court committee is also stressing. Supreme Court committee was started in 2014. In 2021, committee also is not able to, wow, this is the entire 2 days I was saying there is no network. Sorry. So there is, now we have a lead agency in every state. We have a district road safety committee, health department, that I should want to put it in the, actually I wanted to make this blurred, but I couldn't do it. Free medical treatment is available now. 48 hours free medical in every state. Insurance is also available. Now in the PM Arogya Yojana, we have 5 lakh up to free treatment also, 48 hours plus 5 lakh. There is huge international support in terms of funding, in terms of many other things. We have CSR support also. We have NGO activists who are also part of the forum. We have rewards for the Good Samaritan, where the Good Samaritan law was saying the person will help without any expectation. We said, no, we will reward you 5,000 rupees. And now we also have the technology. Yesterday somebody was nicely elaborating what the technology can play the role. So till now we have spent trillions of rupees worth the human hours, resources and funds have been spent to reduce the post-accident fatalities. Still, why India has increased fatalities annually? This question is rolling in everybody's mind. Why? Let's understand why. So Tamil Nadu model, most successful model, everybody were appreciating it. So Tamil Nadu model was saying, some good part of Tamil Nadu model, reduce the response time. Take the patient on the earliest to the trauma center. But Radhi Foundation is saying, Dr. Rita saying, right help and then early help. And which they did not follow, and that's a small reason. The right help was missing. Only early help was the thing which Tamil Nadu was addressing. And the entire, and then people found it out that just to prove themselves our early response is success, they manipulated with the data. And now we all know that that is not the success. We need to have the right help, that only can success. Let's see what is right help. Before I speak, let's talk about some international data. This is the chart of 2019. USA, Japan, India is third. Germany. So you can see the green column, accident versus death. USA has a 59 accident versus 1 death. Japan has 103 accident versus 1 death. India has a 3 accident versus 1 death. In fact, I should have said it 2000 because it is about 2019, it was 3. 2021, it is 2.59. 823 accident versus 1 death. But the number of accidents per lakh population, USA 684, Japan 393, India 36, Germany 374. Number of accidents, Japan and India is almost equal. Germany has a little lesser than us. So survival chance in Germany is 317 times higher compared to India. Human body is everywhere same. Yesterday Geetam madam also said, like, to have an accident you need a walking speed. Japan has a 40 times higher survival rate. So what is international practice and what is in India? Let's understand that. We have first responder and ambulance at the site of incident. Now let's understand what is happening. This is the scenario of India, this is the international scenario. What happened to this patient? He had no external injury, only fracture of the femur bone. So what happened after this fracture? The way he was being carried, this broken bone was acting as a sword. Multiple times he was moving, and while the process of moving, you can see the arrow, the femoral artery and femoral vein got cut. This gentleman bled 4 liters in half an hour. How many liters? And human body has a 5 liters blood. If you lose 30% of blood, you will die. How much this gentleman lost? 4 liters in half an hour. No amount of IV fluids will save this life. If I put a 5-odor needle on all the 4 arms, still this person will not survive. But what would have been ideally happen if he was being taken scientifically and holistically? We would have operated him, surgery of 45 minutes, 3rd day discharge, 3 weeks of bed rest with physiotherapy, 4th week dancing, and if he feels like coming back to remove the plate, he may come or he can survive till the lifelong. It is entire wish of the patient to come for the second surgery. He would have been saved his life, we would have saved this gentleman. But what we did, good Samaritan. I will show you one more example. This is the video of Mumbai-Pune Express Highway. This is the accident. This gentleman also never had any external injury. Wearing a seat belt, okay? I think we take care of our other belongings much gracefully than this gentleman has been pulled from the vehicle. He's been pulled. Am I correct with my words? Okay. दम लगा के हैया, सुना है ना हम लोगों ने, दम लगा के हैया. Let me show you the other video. The difference, why we have more fatalities and why they don't have. See what they have, the equipments to help the patient. Such a respect for the suffering mankind. And where we were, डंप करना था, पुल दम लगा के हैया, वो बोरी उठानी रहती थी ना. Human being becomes a body. Here the human being is being taken care. Can you see the difference of India practice and international practice? So what happened to the gentleman? Because of the speed and because of the seat belt, the many time he was knocked with the seat and his cervical collar, this below this. So in a simple language, what I understand, brain is a CPU, the cervical bone carries a lots of cable to functioning of below neck. If my hands is moving, I am talking, I am walking, I am eating, everything, I am having a pain feeling, good feeling, bad feeling, touch feeling, I am moving my dupatta, all is happening because of the cable which comes from the brain, which takes the message and which reacts to the message, and that's where we are functioning normally. But this gentleman, his cervical collar, because of the multiple hit with the sit, it was damaged, badly was been pulled, and he is permanently below neck disability. So I will share one another example of Viral. Viral was 21 years old when he met with an accident. He was a biker accident, and somebody pulled his helmet very badly. He was wearing ISI standard helmet, which yesterday Geeta ma'am I was stretching, and then somebody badly pulled his helmet and he is below neck paralytic. In 2020, in January month, I was being called to his home. I generally don't do any home visit. I'm a practicing doctor. Still, I don't do any home visit. And but because of the funder to Radhi Foundation, just put up a pressure on me, doctor, you have to come, you have to come. I went to the Viral house. Viral was 6 years by the time the accident happened. I saw the Viral lying on the floor naked. Just his mother, because I had gone, she put one bed sheet on him. 27, when I saw the Viral photo, he was handsome. Any girl will have a second look. But the boys look at the girl, we girls also look at the boys. So any girl will surely look at this handsome boy. And Viral was a skeleton with smelling and stinking. His mother on the entrance, she removed the bangle, gold bangle, 6 bangles. She said it is almost 8 tola bangle. Please doctor, take this and give me a death certificate. I will kill my son. I said, but I don't do that. I beg of you, we are going to sell this flat. Now, right now only these bangles are left with me. We are in the process of selling the flat. I will give you some more amount also for out of that once it is sold. I said, but I don't do this type of work. It's not ethical, against the law. And her abuse started like anything. And I was patiently listening, and I was, with an angry face, I was looking at the funder who had taken me. Radhi Foundation में fund करता है, इसलिए मुझे कहाँ पे लेके आया? I was so angry with that person, but I had to be showing the no expression on my face when Viral mother was abusing me. Then Viral also started bad abuses. I said, only thing which I can help you right now, please bring these things from the nearby chemist, and I'll remove all the maggots, because he had a bed sores. Viral could not move his hand. He had a good communication, but could not eat. It was through the Ryle's tube. And I removed more than, I'm a Jain, so even the mosquito bites me, I said, chalo, iska food hai, human blood is, so I don't kill them. But I killed more than 2,000 maggots on that day. After removing the maggot, Viral felt little better. And then he said, doctor, itna gali nahi dena chahiye tha na. I said, nahi beta, aur bhi dena hai, bhadas nikalni nikalo, chalega. And then I will ensure that somebody comes every 3rd day, so new maggots are not there. And fortunate enough, in last year December, Viral died. I'm saying he's fortunate that he died because he suffered so badly. The family of Viral, who was one of the time very good upper middle class, brother got divorced, brother schizophrenic patient, mother schizophrenic patient, Viral himself was a schizophrenic patient, father died of the heart attack, no relatives left. You can imagine the one wrong help, one wrong infrastructure. We are producing Viral, many Viral every day. So somebody we were yesterday was saying, you know, what is the GDP lost? One accident death is 1 crore. And if the patient survives, 75 lakhs cost. Nobody even thought beyond that. What is our practice? Good Samaritan is been encouraged for the 5,000 rupees to take the patient in like this. Why we have a more fatalities on highway? Because highway we are encouraging this, not this. I don't need to talk about this. So what we call? Good Samaritan or what type of Samaritan? Rewards for what? Here I would like to say, India is the only country which rewards the people with the highest order also, because they have doubled the death fatalities on the road accident. No sane society can accept this, or no sane society can promote such type of a concept of reward. Yesterday I was discussing, if similar incident would have happened in other countries, 304A, which other laws could have been implemented on this Good Samaritan, because he was a cause of not aware, not equipped, not trained, and still handling the patient is deliberate act of harming the person. We cannot say it's a Good Samaritan. Can we say this?
Ma'am, just one contest, ma'am. Point well taken, very well taken. What you have said, I completely agree, ma'am. But to say that it was a deliberate act by someone who tried to take the body out, that would be a little bit going too far. India is ill-equipped, no doubts. India has problems. We are humans, we do mistakes, ma'am. Samaritan is a Samaritan, he tries to help. Whether, I don't know, I never knew there was some money or reward involved, but I don't
just
think
let
people
me
do
finish.
it for
I will
money.
take your this suggestion. We'll discuss on this little at the end of my presentation. Please, I will appreciate if we can. You can wait with your. Let me answer it, because you are going to get my answer in the entire presentation. We are the country where dead bodies on the tempos, and dead bodies on tempo or dead bodies in the ambulance, and the accident victim in the tempo. Yeah. Sir, आप please मेरा presentation खत्म करने के बाद we'll take a question answer. So already I have said lots of things on this slide, so I will just keep. Before that, I would like to share my story, why I am working on the road safety. In 2001, my journey started with Kutch earthquake. I was helping many patients, reached on 26 January with my medical team, and we were in the hospital treating so many patients. And everywhere my senior colleague will say, why somebody helped? Why somebody helped? Because we were only doing amputation, amputation, amputation. Or we were saying that this person will be permanently disabled because of the cervical spine, or the spinal cord is itself injured. Many times we saw the secondary injuries. My first sensitive point, which till now I also hurt by that point, because I was a part of the team of amputation of both the legs of 9-month-old beautiful girl. Today she is 25 and she is absolutely beautiful. She could be the next world Miss World of India. She's so beautiful. But we cut her leg. Why? She had a minor injury on her foot. Some good Samaritan tied up the tourniquet, seeing in the movies, and when she came, she had both the leg gangrene, and we decided to save her life, cut her leg. Then similar, when I came back on 13th Feb 2001 to Mumbai, 14th Feb, me and my mother were going in auto rickshaw, and there was a 14th Feb is Valentine Day, and there was an anti-Valentine Day movement was there. So lots of pebbles were thrown on the road. One of the pebble came and hit my mother's forehead. The kinetic energy was so hard that her entire frontal bone became a small part, and that small bone chips went and stuck into the frontal brain, severely bleeding. Immediately we stabilized her within 10 minutes. So the concept of platinum 10 minutes comes from my mother. That was because that entire case was at the time of too much of complications, medical field were looking into that. Okay, why the things? Because, and within 4 hours we traveled 35 kilometers where we had a neurosurgeon, neuro-OT, cardiologist, neurotechnician, all in the place to save her life. I was absolutely fortunate enough because I could get an advanced treatment because I am the Dr. Rita Savla, and everything was in place for me. 2001 was not a mobile era, but we could mobilize everything within that 4 hours of time, 3.5 hours time, exactly from the incident. Her surgery, her first anesthesia was at 3.5 hours. We had a MRI, we had a CT scan, we had a X-ray, we had a blood reports, everything hand, because I am the Dr. Rita Savla. And she is today, 84 age, normal survival. I am normal, she is a normal survival, the best example because I am not a schizophrenic patient. I am absolutely healthy, normal like you talking over here. Otherwise, taking care of a frontal brain injury patient would have been 21 years, 22 years to take care of somebody. I always say that as a doctor, as a human psychologist, first 3 months is love, next 3 months is duty, after that it's a burden. After 1 year, the thoughts come, how do we get rid of this and discard and kill that person? That's the only thought comes after 1 year. I'm talking practical part. I don't want to be an ideal because our idealism has created a wrong examples. We are killing lots of people. We are making more than 2.5 lakh people every year disabled. So that ideology has no meaning. So let's not be ideal. So because in 2001, there was a practice of first FRI and then treatment. The Dr. Rita Savla would not care for such laws, and I am completely, because I am a doctor, medico-legal expert. Knew all the laws very well, because even the court will take my opinion as a final judgment because I am a doctor, medico-legal expert. And there was a case. Why did you? Because they put it, FRI was important, not the treatment. And that made all of us come together. All the neurosurgeons came together, and we identified 18 cases on 14th Feb 2001 with the similar frontal brain injury because of the pebbles on the road, stones on the road. After 1.5 years, the result, when we submitted our report to the Bombay High Court, it was saying 3 people died within 24 hours. Remaining 8 people, they were in the hospital for more than 6 months, and till whatever time they survived as a bedridden patient. Remaining other people were hospitalized more than 9 months and they died within that period. So, and my mother, she was discharged on 12th day. There was how at my home we were going under the interior designing. So I was little upset because that entire thing I told her, hospital, let me keep over here till I clean out the house completely and kick out all the things and settle. So because I knew that what care she will be needing after that. So she was there for another 3 days in the hospital. 15 days of hospitalization. Mind well, hospitals are not only for road accident patients. They cater many more patients. ICU beds are not only for the road accident, they are for the many people like all of us. Our family member, our near and dear ones, our colleague, if they have some medical problem where they need a continuous observation, they need hospital bed. There are some surgical conditions, they need a hospital bed. So the research says, many times surgery rooms are empty, but the beds are not available. Doctors are sitting ideal, but beds are not available. Our healthcare infrastructure in government is overloaded thanks to such type of malpractice we are promoting in our country. Let's see what internationally people are doing. Here I will say that one example of my family again in 1964. My chacha, my grandmother and my unborn cousin of 8th month were traveling from Connecticut after the baby shower to their home. And my chachi missed, she was driving and she missed because there was some road work was happening at the midnight. She missed that thing and her car went into the dig, rolled over the 3 times. All 4 were badly injured. 911 was existing at that time. People informed the 911. People informed the 911 and 911 ambulances came and they took the patient wherever it was required. They were not dumped, but they were taken, rescued and taken to the hospital. And happy to share, my grandmother died in 2003. My chacha still alive. My cousin still alive. Recently she became grandmother. My grandchild is just 18 months old. What would have happened? It was in India. We were putting some malas on their photos. So the entire what I said, they have developed the system. Yesterday Geeta ma'am was talking about the Norway and Sweden. They had 11 when 2010 they had 11 fatalities per lakh accidents and now they have 2.5 fatalities. Sweden, every country has worked in the right direction. We need empathy, but currently we are sympathetic. 2 days back I was talking to one senior officer from the police department and he said, ma'am, your presentation is really, but what about the public? They'll put a pressure, what about the blood? And then I shared, my mother was bleeding for 3.5 hours. I never stopped her bleeding. Because every bleeding is not to be stopped. I don't want, if I would have stopped her bleeding, she would have been, her lifeline was 21, till today she is surviving. Now, right now I'm talking, she's still surviving. Imagine what she would have suffered and what family would have suffered. And if she had a complications of stopping the bleeding of intracranial pressure, she wouldn't have been successfully surviving today, happy, healthy, normal life. She is not on any medication. Yeah, we do suffer with some complication which frontal brain is related with the memory. So she has only 3% of memory cell. We need to take care of that. And second part, if she gets confused, she gets epileptic attacks, so we need to take care that nobody confuses her. Only 2 precautions. So simple. We have ensured that she has something. If she is going out alone, she goes every day out alone to the temple. But we have ensured, we have written the phone number. So people know around her and we can find out because she has a GPS chip inside her. So we can locate her also. And during the COVID, she's become very smart because of COVID. I was not at home. So my cousins came and my younger cousin's child has taught her many things which we could not teach her. So now she's a smart lady. Citizens are not allowed to touch the patient. Sympathy is good, but because of my sympathy, if somebody is going to suffer, then such sympathy needs to be educated and channelized in the right direction. And if we are not able to do as a society, as a social activist, as a government, as an NGO, then somewhere we are failing in developing the system, and then we don't have to put up any presentation first slide. This many people died. So I will read. Stabilization happens when they rescued proper help outcome in India. No, I've already said it, but I'll still read it because we have unequipped, untrained help. We are training the people, but now ma'am has already agreed that 1 day, 2 day training will have no retention of the knowledge. We are training, but we are not giving them any equipments. So we have creating a system of training CPR. I wonder which accident victim needs a CPR. Sometimes I feel like, we need to rewrite our medical book based on such type of incidents and treat you on that, and we will not accept this. Mind well, we don't read Google at all. We don't read Wikipedia at all. No doctor reads that. Delay in reaching the trauma center, lack of stabilization in golden hour, delay in starting the curative treatment is another cause. Say tertiary injuries are further. Say we have secondary injuries, we have tertiary injuries, we have further so many injuries happen before the actual curative treatment is starting. And we doctor has hardly anything to help the patient than to do a not curative treatment. We are doing palliative treatment to the road accident victim. We have record of 30 days. But what about patient dying on 35 days? What about patient dying on 40 days? What about patient dying after 6 months? This palliative treatment is prolonging the life, having a financial loss, GDP loss because of this complicated secondary and tertiary patient is 11% to the country. 3% because of the road accident and 8% because of the mishandling and overburdened healthcare infrastructure. We have lack of total planned and structured approach. More Ministry of Health, yesterday, our Honorable Minister said road accidents is a responsibility of health, transport and police. He never mentioned about the health department. And absolutely you all guys attend the road safety meeting. And some officer from the health department will be coming, a very junior level of officer. He may not be even knowing about the trauma management at all. And health department says, my role starts when the patient comes. So who takes the responsibility of incident till the hospital? Patient is on his own faith. With ad hoc, unplanned, untrained, unequipped, unscientific, non-holistic health. It's a joint responsibility of transport, police and health, and we need to sit together, develop an SOPs, well-defined roles and responsibility to ensure that every life is handled scientifically, holistically, with trained and with equipped health. Whatever I am talking right now is a macro level of understanding with you guys. But there are lots of sub-verticals of whatever topic I am talking right now, and if we are not addressing those sub-verticals, again this entire talk will be failed. Because this is only 45 minutes. If I have to talk about the entire trauma management with every sub-verticals scientifically explained, I will take minimum 3 days. And then I would want health department officer to also be part of this August audience. I hope I will be able to make you think what is needed and what we are doing it and what needs to be done. Having sympathy is good. I have nothing to say with that good Samaritan. You all have received one poster. Optimum use of the resources, which is the 4th point which I had not added in the previous slide. 4 verticals as multiple sub-verticals, and every smallest aspect we need to manage. Everybody of you got a posters with you guys? Read this poster. This is what we need to promote and train the Good Samaritan. They should not become a doctor. They should know their limitations. Training on first aid should make them to understand that limitation, not make them to come forward and do an ad hoc, untrained, unequipped help. Training in first aid, I don't deny it. But don't encourage them for giving unscientific, unequipped, wrong help. Except what is to be needed. I again say, after that, in 2004, when we had this verdict of first treatment and then FRI, I felt, okay, now things will improve. Nothing improved, so I wrote the concept note of 108 ambulance service, got implemented. Then I was relaxed, wow. Abhi to 108 aa gaya na, well equipped hai, problem solved. Then I always have a habit, what I do, after some time I do the analysis of the outcome and sustainability of what work I have done. I was very unhappy, then I identified ambulances getting stuck in the road. So we started promoting Give Way to Ambulance, a mass awareness, and thanks to the entire police department. I would say thanks first to the Mumbai police who helped me for this mass awareness, and it has reached to the entire country. Golden Hour started. We are now doing many things because of the outcome of this Give Way to Ambulance has many, many positive outcomes. Then I realized the private ambulances, so advocacy for the ASI 120 standardization of ambulance came. Lot many things done. Then again 4 years back, again we now we have done the 3 things. What is outcome? Nothing. Outcome was 0. Then we went and did the research. Where are the wrong things? What are the wrong things? And that's what I have shared with you. We need a structured approach. We need to handle lots of many verticals, sub-verticals to ensure that we are having a system, whether you are there, I am there or not there, system should work to save every life. So please take this, you already have one soft copy, a hard copy. I will put a soft copy in the group. Do promote this. Good Samaritan should be taught this. Not to encourage for the reward of 5,000 to mishandle anybody. The dhaba boy, canteen boy, roadside vendor, for them 5,000 is good amount. But for the 5,000, can we afford to have one number additional in the fatalities, one number additional in disability? As a sane society, we cannot. It's a planned approach. We will have assessment, planning and implementation, awareness, training and capacity building. I'm not going further deep into the but the outcome will be, we will be saving more life, we'll be reducing the disability, we'll be reducing the GDP loss, we'll have everything positive. And as I said, without me and without you, The system should be developed so we save a life. Indirect outcome, reduce burden on healthcare infrastructure. Because if the one patient is staying longer time in the hospital, other patient doesn't get bed, so he gets complicated, so he stays a longer period in the hospital, the third person gets complicated. We are into the vicious circle of burdening healthcare infrastructure with a GDP loss of 11%. Mind well, road accident fatalities and the disability is associated with the crime. So if we handle them scientifically, holistically, trained and equipped help will reduce the crime also. Will reduce the mental health. We as a team can be part of any of the state government and help them. We are looking forward to set up with do our best practice with the 2 or 3 states and which can be carried out and replicated across India. Thank you. May I request Rahul, please?
Hi, good morning everyone. So I am Rahul from Save Life Foundation. So I am here to speak on emergency care response and road crashes in India. But I was given the topic emergency care response and road accidents in India. So I would like to ask if somebody could tell what does accident mean. Can anybody volunteer and tell us what does a accident mean? Sorry, I can't. Can the mic be given?
It's a part of negligence.
Negligence. Okay. Anybody else? Like in layman terms, what does accident mean? Undesirable event. Okay.
Basically, if we talk about accident in a layman's term, as you said, per se in Hindi it means durghatna. So accident can be anything or an untoward happening, but as far as this word crash is concerned, road crashes means we are talking about fatality which occurs during the road accident or is likely to happen in case the patient is not properly salvaged.
Right. So as everybody of you said, it's like accident is something that was not planned. It happened all of a sudden. You did not foresee it. So, but road crashes are not accidents. That's why we don't use the term accident. Road safety, for that matter, is a system that needs to be taken care of. So, like, it's not an accident when you are traveling on a road, you say hit a roadside tree. So it's not an accident, it's an act of gross negligence on the part of the engineering department. It should have been properly cordoned off using a crash barrier. If you go to any developed country, you'll see that all these hard structures are properly cordoned off or are made visible. So it's not an accident, it's a crash, and where each of the department is somehow responsible if we are not addressing it. So that's why me and my organization Save Life, we call it road crashes, and my presentation will be on emergency care response and road crashes in India. So my journey for road safety is also very personal, and I think many of you here and many we interact with have had a experience with road crashes. So for me also, I lost a very close family member, and who, for the want of timely emergency care, lost her life. So for that, with that, my journey with Save Life started. And moving ahead, as the previous speaker, Dr. Savla, said, we always start with numbers. So, but numbers are good. Number gives us a reason for action. It gives us, because road safety till now, till very late, very recently was totally neglected because there was no numbers, there was no data in the public sphere. So the policy makers did not have a reason to act. And if the policy makers do not have a reason to act, that topic will be, buried in grave. Our Honorable Minister for Road Transport and Highways, Sri Nitin Gadkari, he's very, passionate towards reducing road crashes, and he is well adept with the numbers. And as we say, he only in a parliament session pointed out that India loses more lives in road crashes every year than we lost in COVID. So that's why the numbers are important to, gauge the intensity of the crisis we are suffering. So as you can see here, India loses 1.35 million lives every year, and that's one of the highest in the world. And in this lives lost, majority are the young people, 18 to 35 years. So that is the prime workforce that we are losing. So, and most of them, as you see, we have the highest crash severity of 37.3. That is number of people dying per 100 crashes. So given that, as I move forward, you can see here, these towns, they have a population of around 1.5 lakhs. So every year, we are losing one Damo in MP, or for that matter, Vidisha or Chhatarpur. If you go to UP, you are losing a Hathras every year. And you are losing one Rishikesh everywhere to lives lost in road crashes. So that is the severity of the problem. And if we don't look at it holistically from the point of view of the 4 E's of road safety, that is engineering, enforcement, emergency care, and education, this number will rise. So moving ahead, Save Life Foundation, what we work, our approach to road safety is very holistic, and we approach it from both ways, top down and bottom up. Top down because no change can be brought around if you don't have if you're not willing to change the system. So in that regard, we filed a PIL with the Supreme Court in 2016 and got India's Good Samaritan law, which has its own benefits and own pitfalls if it is not addressed holistically. So I'll show you in the slides to come how Good Samaritan law has changed lives and how it is particularly relevant to Indian context and what needs to be done to make it more applicable to Indian context and help even more to save lives in India. We were also on the technical drafting committee of the Motor Vehicle Amendment Act, and we are constantly in touch with MORTH for emergency care, drafting emergency care policies, and with MOHFW. We are also in process of launching a guidebook on zero fatality corridors, which is our marquee initiative that we are doing in collaboration with NHAI and MORTH. And at the grassroots level, we, as I mentioned, zero fatality corridor, I'll show you how we implement it. Then we do crash investigations. Crash investigation is one of the, it comes in the domain of police, but it's one of the most neglected part. If you go to any developed country, for say Germany, so they will investigate each and every crash and find out the biomechanics, what led to the crash, what is driver's fault, vehicle's fault, road engineering fault, or the trauma care. Was it on time or not? So it's a very holistic process which is addressed. So we do that and help police department across different states to build capacity and do crash investigations. And as I say that, all of you might be aware with the Cyrus Mistry crash. So we were also a partner to the government of Maharashtra, and we helped them do that crash investigation, and we submitted a very holistic report which showed what the faults were across 4 E's. And there, as you know, Mr. Cyrus Mistry's life would have been saved if proper trauma care and professional paramedics arrived on scene and gave him proper treatment. And moving ahead, we help in trauma care optimization, state capacity building. I will show you further down the line how we do that. And as I said, road safety is very close to us. So is the case with our trustees who are supporting us because they have had experience of road safety. So on board, we have Justice Indu Malhotra, retired Judge of Honorable Supreme Court, Mr. G.K. Pillai, former Union Home Secretary, Ajay Chaudhary, founder SCL, and Mr. Piyush Tiwari, he's our founder and CEO. So, and our strength lies in our talent pool that we have. We have people ranging from doctors, PhDs, and as well as development specialists and trauma care specialists, and we work throughout India. And in our effort, as you know, to bring a systems change and to address road safety holistically, we partner with government and top academic institutions ranging from Ministry of Road Transport Highways, Government of Maharashtra, Government of Odisha, Uttar Pradesh, Delhi Police. And on academic front, we are partnering with Harvard, Johns Hopkins, Weill Cornell, AIMS, IITs, Roorkee, Kharagpur, Kanpur. So, and our impact, as I have already mentioned, so we have secured India's first and only Good Samaritan law. With our Zero Fatality Corridor initiative and the crash investigations, we have achieved a 61% drop in deaths on the old Mumbai-Pune highway and approximately 42% drop in deaths on Yamuna Expressway. And similar, the recommendations we have given to the ministry and that have been replicated are underway to be done on the 20 national highways selected by, the 20 most fatal highways selected by us. And then moving ahead, we have assisted in drafting the Motor Vehicle Amendments Act. We secured a nationwide ban on trucks from carrying protruding rods, as that was also leading to considerable number of road fatalities. And we have trained over 42,000 community volunteers, police personnel, and high-risk bus and truck drivers in life-saving skills like basic trauma life support and how to prevent crash while driving. And that that training has gone a long way when it comes to the implementation of Good Samaritan, because that skill, how to, when you are a first responder, how to tackle a trauma case is very important. And in emergency care, if I talk particularly, Good Samaritan is already being talked about. Then we were very active during Delhi, in Delhi during the COVID pandemic. And during the peak COVID, the ambulance response time, everything went haywire. And it was approximately 1 hour 40 minutes. So we partnered with the government of Delhi and we brought it down to 25 minutes. And that helped save many lives. And further, one of our key initiatives that has led to saving of many lives is the optimization of ambulance-based locations to improve the response time. So as I told you, under the Zero Fatality Corridor initiative, we audited at least 21 national highways across 15 states in India. And while one observation जो हमने वहाँ देखा was that ambulance was there, and NHAI has advanced life support ambulances, which is the top level. But what was happening? It was stationed at toll plazas. And what was happening, the crashes were happening maybe 60 kilometers away from the toll plazas, the high fatality zones, what we call, where it's not that the crashes are evenly distributed throughout the highways. But we are following, very straight-jacketed approach that all the ambulances were stationed at the toll plazas. But when the crashes are taking 80 kilometers away, so then in that case, ambulance would take 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes to reach the victim. And in that scenario, by the time yeah. 60 kilometers.
So why are you saying 60 kilometers? Means 30 kilometers is the maximum that ambulance will go.
I understand, sir, but it's not that.
Kindly, when you are speaking at a forum where you have to be very, very particular about what you are saying.
I understand, sir, but what?
Kindly, this is what I am telling
Your point well noted, sir.
Kindly ensure that whatever you are saying is not out of the blue. It has to be based on facts.
No, I understand, sir. Your point is well taken, but the fact is in all the NH, for instance, when we went to Punjab, NH5, all the toll plazas did not have ambulances. The concessionaire was not maintaining them. So what was happening, at the start of the base, at the start of the national highway, the first toll plaza had stationed 3 ambulances to cover up for that lack of ambulance on the second toll plaza. So in that instance, what was happening first, from the first toll plaza, maybe say 80 kilometers, only that ambulance was catering to it. So that was the case. So now what we have suggested is ambulance, should be placed at these high fatality locations so that response time can be brought down to 10 minutes, or at most it should be less than 15 minutes. And moving ahead, we are the only agency in country to audit trauma systems, pre and in a hospital. Moving ahead. So as I told you, everybody, about the zero fatality corridor, in that it's our effort to bring a systemic change, and we address the 4 E's, as I told: engineering, enforcement, emergency care, and education. So emergency care, while we undertake the zero fatality corridor initiative, we audit the ambulances, the hospitals where these ambulances take the crash victims, and give a holistic report so that improvements can be brought about on that front. So let's start and see what is the emergency care scenario currently prevailing in India. So if you see, currently there is a lack of or absent overarching framework. So there is, as my previous speaker also pointed out, like Ministry of Health and Family Welfare have their own guidelines. Then MORTH has its own guidelines to attend to trauma cases on national highways. And then there is a general lack of pre-hospital care. But what is also lacking is, there is no standard protocol from the instance when a call is made, how the call will reach the ambulance, what is the time duration when the call has to, there is a call center which transfers the call to ambulance, police. So how is that working? And then how from ambulance to hospital it is reaching. So there is no custodian for this relationship, which in turn is leading to delays in timely emergency medical care and standardizing the medical care across India. And second problem that emergency medical care in India is, there is a lack of universal access number. So if you see, there are numbers like 102, 108. If you're traveling on NHAI, there are 1033. If you are traveling on expressways, they have their own 10-digit numbers, which is very hard to remember if you are traveling on that expressway for the first time. अगर आप NHAI के highways पे चल रहे हैं, if you move 50 meters away from the highway and you call 1033, so they might not respond. So how absurd is that? So your life is at stake. So we suggest that there should be a universal access number. And then there is undefined training and education protocols for emergency medical care professionals. So currently what is the scenario? A person holding a 6-month certificate or holding a 3-month degree, both are, paramedics who can be stationed in an ambulance. In the highways we audited, we even found paramedics who, they were forged papers and they were only 10th passed. When our, trained paramedics asked them questions, they were not able to answer. So this lack of training and education protocols among first responders and emergency care professionals is another cause of concern in India. And then issues with ambulance. As ambulance, if we talk of chain of survival, in the chain of survival, after the lay responders comes the role of professionals, which, first interaction of a trauma victim is with ambulance. So these ambulances in India are like transport vehicles. They don't have, proper hygiene, proper equipments, proper medical consumables, and there is no proper audit done where this can be taken care of. And there is no national ambulance code, and further...
There is already national ambulance code is available.
No, but it is not being followed. NHAI...
It will not get followed because there is absolutely lack of subject matter expert who could guide them, because there are lots of non-medical people are talking in this field. So even the national ambulance code, almost all the members, because I was attending the first meeting and I had objected that why the people from the medical field only from the AIMS are there, and then Save Life Foundation came into the picture. And then the person who were attending were not aware about the medical requirement of ambulances. We are absolutely misusing ambulances because for one trauma patient happens on the national highway. Every day there is no trauma on national highway. But we are absolutely misusing the resources, and because we are parking ambulances. Our obsession for taking the patient on the earliest to the hospital, our obsession of having ambulance is absolutely damaging the healthcare infrastructure. So we need an holistic approach in that. And it will only get implemented if it has to be addressed in a way it needs to be addressed. Where I was speaking to so many transport department officers across India, and then I said, no, this organization is talking this, and you are talking this. So now we are confused which to implement, which not to implement.
Your point is well taken, ma'am. The need is, if something like this is coming up, all the relevant stakeholders needs to be taken into account. If there are doctors, so it needs to be, our concern is that such things need to be there. But such things to be there, the opinion of the subject matter experts matter, but it has to be there and it has to be standardized across highways, across cities, across
Totally
districts.
agree, because we are lacking to get the people. I always say because I have come here because I have a positive story of road accident. Most of the people have come here because they have a negative story and they have said what happened with me should not happen. So most of the things which have come are I suffered it, I had a loss. So this was the loss because the ambulance did not reach on the time. So I lost a family member. So we worked it out in a way that it was not holistic. I was saying that I had a positive story. And so I want what my positive story should reach to the across India. Everybody
Yes,
should
we are
get
all
it
looking
in
for
the
positivity here. So I
curative
think
treatment. If it's starting in 4 hours, then only we can save a life. It is starting, it should not have the secondary injury, it should not have multiple transfer, it should not have the tertiary injury. It should have a equipped help to ensure that we don't kill the patient. We don't make the burden on healthcare infrastructure.
understood,
please.
ma'am. Yes. So ma'am's point is very relevant. We should all be looking for positivity and moving ahead with positivity. And we should learn lessons from what we have experienced and, try to strive and make that change. So moving ahead, and as I told you, as part of our emergency care audits that we did along the national highways, so there are some key findings that we encountered. So first is about the response time. So in ambulances, it was noted that all the response time at 90% of the instance was above the standard 20 minutes. That is, the MORTH guideline says that within 20 minutes the ambulance should reach, but it was not the case. And the time lost was at most times due to suboptimal placements of the ambulance and the time lost in transferring calls when the call is being made to the call center. So, but our contention is now that this standard 20 minutes should also be reduced because the concept of golden hour starts, before that there is a concept of platinum 10 minutes, because the design speeds of the highways today is much more and the speed with which vehicles are moving is much higher. So the concept of platinum 10 minutes when the patients should be attended by a trained paramedic is very important. So in that sense, the ambulances should reach well below 20 minutes so that lives could be saved.
The international study what we done was not showing the 20 minutes is a response time. First, most of the primary injuries are not fatal. 99% primary injuries are not fatal. 5% patient which we are seeing internationally are also dying and they will die. But mishandling in India needs to be stopped. So 20 minutes is not important. The cases which I showed, they had never had any external injury. There was no bleeding. If they don't get help for 2 hours, 4 hours, even 6 hours, nothing would have happened to them. I again said like my mother was bleeding for 4 hours. So the medically, it's not the platinum 10 minutes or platinum 20 minutes or in golden hour. It is the right help is the concept.
Thank you, ma'am. We can have this discussion as I finish this my presentation. Then we can
Sure.
have this discussion and your valuable inputs on the same. Moving ahead, so regarding manpower, the findings were that most of the ambulances, irrespective whether they were advanced life support ambulance or basic life support, it had only a paramedic which was untrained and a driver which was also untrained. There was no paramedic helper which could, help load, unload the victims in a proper manner. So in that regard, so there were, as ma'am showed, we don't follow proper protocol when we are, scooping a injured victim lying on the road. So his C-spine is not stabilized. He's just lifted by 4 people. The paramedic would ask for help from nearby drivers, which was leading to chances of his survival, getting slim. Another problem was the staff was unaware of hospital selection procedure. So what was the aim of the staff was to just to scoop a patient and take him to the nearest hospital, irrespective of level of trauma they were suffering from and the level of trauma centers that can cater to that kind of trauma. So again, this led to delay in proper treatment and was resulting in fatalities, higher fatalities. So again, on the equipments and consumable fronts, what we discovered, equipments were not available in the ambulance. When we went through the concessionaires agreement, they said they are providing a basic life support ambulance or advanced life support ambulances. But what was happening when we audited those ambulances, the equipments were not as per the standards or as per the guidelines that a BLS or an ALS ambulances should have. So the proper care was not being met. And many instances we saw that medical consumables were also not adequately stocked and maintained. And then moving to patient transfer and hospital handover, there is no SOPs with the paramedics. They did not know how to, when they are putting a patient into the ambulances, how to take a pulse, how to record the vitals of the victims, how to record the demographic details of the victim. There was no SOP for hospital selection and there was no pre-hospital arrival notification. So in essence, if a hospital is notified that they are about to receive a critically injured patient and his or her vitals are XXX, so then the doctors or the emergency care professionals could be ready to take on that case, but that was not happening. So what was happening was, as soon as the patient went there to the hospital, it was again chaos. They were checking for its vitals, everything, and that led to delay in proper and timely care that the victim should be receiving. So as you can see in this picture, first pictures on the left, you see that person is giving a CPR. We asked him if you know CPR. CPR is a basic skill that a paramedic should know, whether or not he applies it or not on the road crash victims. So this is how he was applying CPR. So, and in the second picture, you can see the status of the ambulances. It's so unhygienic, and there are no proper equipments, no labeled boxes, nothing. And in the third case, the paramedic was asked to check for pulse, and he did not know how to properly check for pulse. So that is the state of paramedics and ambulances in India. And moving ahead to the hospital findings. So again, the hospitals along the national highways are mostly, all the ambulances take the patients to the government hospitals. So the government hospitals, lack adequate trauma and ICU beds. They lack trauma and ICU care for patients. So what was happening when they are taken to a nearby PHC or CHC, if they are not able to tend to that level of trauma, then they are transferred to higher level center, and in that time, the time is lost and the patient might even lose his life. Again, moving to the manpower and equipments. So in the hospitals, government hospitals particularly, trained specialist doctors were missing who could cater to the trauma care injuries. So for instance, in many cases, there were no neurologists that were found in a CHC. And if at night they did not have a functioning radiology unit, so which can, if there was a need for a CT scan and an MRI, that could be done. And as I told you, most government facilities except medical colleges are level 3 centers. So that cannot cater to advanced trauma care cases, especially that occur on NHAI national highways. Private centers are present, but patients are not taken there because the ambulances take patients to government hospitals. And moving to the emergency room. So in the emergency room of the hospitals, it doesn't have a separate resuscitation and triaging room. So that, and the trauma, ICU and emergency OT were also not separately maintained. It was all taking place in one room. So there was a lot of chaos, lot of distribution of resources. So that led to increase in time to attending to the trauma care patients. And as a matter of fact, there are a lot of cases now on the national highways that result in burning of cars or burning of patients who are stuck inside the car. So, but only medical colleges who are level 1 centers have a functional burn care unit. So that is again a major concern, especially on the national highways in India. And again, if I talk about patient transfer and hospital handover, as a prior notification system is missing, So when the ambulances reach the hospitals with trauma care patient, so they are not aware of it, so they are not ready what to do. So another 10-15 minutes are lost in gauging the condition of the patient. As I told you, PSC, CSC are only able to cater to minor injuries. And as national highways passes through mostly rural areas, and in India 70% of road crash fatalities take place in on the rural road stretches. So absence of level 1 trauma centers near national highways is another cause of concern for us. So based on our trauma care audits and our crash vulnerability audits and crash investigations, the measures that we suggest to improve emergency medical care in India is that firstly, to streamline everything, to do it in a holistic manner, there needs to be a universal access number, so that everybody who is traveling on Indian roads, be it national highways, city roads, district roads, or an expressway, knows which number to dial. If he is a good Samaritan, he can dial that number easily, and so that response is quick. He does not lose time in figuring out where he is standing, what number should he dial. So that could be done. And what states can do is that state right now they have their own emergency care service. Many have onboarded impaneled 108 services. So they can integrate their emergency care services with the universal access number. Second key recommendation of ours is that there should be improved ambulance response. To improve the ambulance response, first there has to be a proper clinical audit by competent persons to so that ambulance is maintained and upgraded as per the requirement of the stretch. Like for national highways, it would make sense that where there are high-speed vehicles and high-speed crashes take place for to have advanced life support ambulances. But in cities, only a basic life support ambulance might do. So a proper audit of the ambulances and of the assessment of the local conditions should be done, so that ambulance can be upgraded as per the requirement. And second recommendation in this regard that we have is pre-hospital notification system.
I will just add about the improved ambulance response system. I have absolutely failed to understand the advanced trauma life support and basic life support, a training which is a 2 days or 3 days training given to an non-paramedic. This course are designed for the refresher course who are already trained. Yeah.
So regarding another second point is hospital notification system. So if you go to any country like US, UK, Germany, so the paramedics there would, there is a proper selection criteria where they triage the emergency care patient and, notify the hospitals well before about the vitals and the time of arrival that would be there for their ambulance to arrive. So that system needs to be enabled in India, so that emergency care should be professionalized and, brought up to the level of developed countries. And then paramedics, they should be trained in and certified in advanced trauma life support. So as I showed you the pictures where paramedics did not even know to do CPR or take a pulse. So giving them proper training with proper refresher course in relevant intervals would be a good step that could lead to improved ambulance response and better emergency care. And again, as we operate in a very special context, India, where there is a scarcity of proper resources. So many cases when paramedics and drivers are operating an ambulance, keeping that context in mind, we also propose that drivers should be trained in basic trauma life support. So if the need be, the paramedic doesn't ask for help from the nearby lay people. The drivers can assist them in handling the patient. And then again, finally, when I say about the improved ambulance response, hospital selection protocol is to be very clearly laid out. And it should be, the criteria should be based on formal discussion with the relevant stakeholders. And early advanced care. As I talked about the chain of survival, in that final step is of the early advanced care that comes at the level of hospitals. So there is a need for proper gradation of all hospital facilities. So while we were auditing the national highways, there was no gradation, the concessionaire did not know, the paramedics did not know what is the gradation, where they should take the patients. So this gradation needs to take place, and then upgradation of hospitals, especially the government hospital, should be done so that trauma care in a timely manner, in a professional manner is provided. And last but not the least, pre-hospital notification systems should be started in all government and private hospitals so that care is immediately given as soon as the patient reaches to the hospitals. So thank you all for your attention. So this was our key findings. I think the gentleman has some questions.
So we can have the questions.
Should I start? Yeah. Yeah. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
It was a nice presentation. I have one question regarding the ALS and BLS ambulances. You know, prior to joining here, I was working as a consultant for the Supreme Court Committee on Road Safety. So there was a criteria over there. There is a medicine. I will not name it because I am not a medical doctor. So it was like, initially it was mandatory that this injection should be always be available in an ambulance to control bleeding.
Yeah.
Later on, it was made optional.
Correct.
So now I understand why it was made optional after your lecture. But what is your opinion on this, ma'am? Should there be a code for this? This medicine or this injection should always be available?
So there are certain basic medicine should be available in every ambulances, and whom to be given will be the case-to-case basis. It cannot be a mandatory, every patient should require, because the patient condition decides the treatment, not the medicine decides the patient. And paramedic, as per the Medical Legal Act and the system across the world, it is a 3 years course which a paramedic should go, and then they are being allowed to use a certain drugs, not all the drugs, certain emergency drugs, to show that they can handle and save the life. That stabilization part of what we are talking.
Madam, I am DCP Traffic from Delhi.
Yeah.
I think whole forum is knowing Nirvaya case.
Yeah.
So I was handling the command room that time. So just being a doctor, just I wanted to have a suggestion from you.
Yeah.
Because on the day, it was the 10:15 when the call received in the command room.
Yes.
We took conversation for 3 minutes, and by 10:20, we took the vehicle, or you can say victim, to the hospital.
Yes.
But in the hospital, what we faced, the doctor were not entertaining the patient because the MLC book was missing. And the MLC book was being used as a pillow by the doctor. And we took half an hour to search that. So are we having sustained SOP for the doctor also to handle it? And since it is a very known case for everyone,
Yes.
have we taken any corrective measure thereafter? From your side, since you have been dealing in the subject for medical fraternity, kindly reply for that.
Sir, absolutely, this Nirbhaya case was the one of the where the medical fraternity, the emergency care was badly criticized. So after that, there was a committee which said, like, we need to develop an SOP for the every emergency response. Then what happens? Somebody has a soft corner for road accident, somebody has a soft corner for the rape cases, somebody has a soft corner for the another railway accident, somebody has a soft corner for the fire accidents. So everybody comes in the silo to put a pressurize on the government and draft the policy related to that. So then we are missing the absolutely holistic approach. When I talk about the accident, only 18% accidents are because of the road. Then there are many other reasons of emergency care. And emergency care, when I talk, it includes the heart attack, stroke, accident, suicide, or any other medical emergency which needs the treatment in golden hour. And unless we don't define all those together and have a system, doctors at the government hospital and private hospital are so confused which SOP to be followed. Because everybody goes with their own understanding to develop an SOP. Unfortunately, at the government administrations, we are having a non-medical person. The people in the committee are from the certain government hospital. They are going by the designation, not by the expertise. And then one person will go. That person may have expertise. Medical field is a huge, vast. You know that there are lots of sections. Some is a neuro expert, some is a nephro expert, some is a orthopedic, some
Ma'am,
is
we are
this,
running
some
short of
is
time.
that.
Kindly we can wind it up, ma'am.
Yeah.
Please.
So we need, and again I was stressing holistic approach where we are addressing everything together and we have a holistic SOP. So because in Delhi government we worked it and they showed us 5 SOPs. So madam, which to follow? I said, let's combine it. It's a government policy. Go to the government and rectify. Then government said, no, this has some political pressure, so we cannot rectify this. This has some another political pressure, so we cannot rectify it. So where is a patient? Where is a doctor? It's a political pressure. And somebody who brings that political pressure. So we need to come down for the patient treatment, not my affinity or my sensitive point or my weak points. I hope that answers.
Thank you. Sir, we are running short of time.
Just one observation, just
Sir,
here, that in both the presentations I see a lot of comparison with UK, USA, other Germany, other developed countries. That is an ideal situation. Even if that ideal situation comes, there will be gaps. So what is more important is, I find that within the existing system, within the availability resources, how to utilize those available resources and technologies to the best of accident victims. One thing was very important, very right. You said that not to touch the patient. You know, the police doesn't know it, the other they don't know it. You have to wait for paramedics. But more stress is on UK में ऐसा होता है, US में ऐसा होता है, हमें भी ऐसे पहुंचना है. The future, that is okay. We understand that, but that will take decades. So please be specific on how you use the available resources, keeping in view the specific conditions of India, the cultural conditions, the social conditions, the political conditions, the economic conditions, and the resources available. How can we do it?
Absolutely, sir.
Right?
Well taken
Thank you
your
very
point. And exactly, I added the 4th point is the optimum use of the resources and contacts of India. We have taken this example to ensure that it is possible because other countries are doing, we can also do it because we are rich of the resources, we have intellectual brain. Healthcare infrastructure is much better than other countries because we have international tourism for the medical help. So there is nothing lacking. What is lacking is right people coming and helping to do the needful policies and drafts.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Sir, we are running short of time.
Sir, just 2 minutes.
Please.
Not a question, but
I want to say, my name is Sujit Senapati. Regarding Good Samaritan, I want to say something. Odisha is the first state to train the Good Samaritan. He has started Operation Rakshak. Our aim is to first train 300 master trainer, and they will train 30,000 trainer from roadside vendors, vegetable seller, and all these fellow. And a refreshing course will be continue every 3 months.
Sir, I have studied the Odisha so well. Odisha has no money, no fund for the doctors and nursing, which are the vacant.
Right, madam.
But they have billion crores rupees fund for the training of the first responder who will be on the site of, will be the 1% chance.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Sir,
So, no, we can't take questions now, sir.
not question, sir, just
Please.
for
Yes, sir.
future discussion.
Yes, please.
Rahul sir and Ministry of Road Transport and Highway already published a 4 report on ease of road safety, education, engineering, enforcement and emergency. But various experts talking about the economic loss and environmental loss. The why we are not included another 2E, economics and environment, because I am from Rashtriya Raksha University and our university already included 2E's in our syllabus, economics and environment. So this is for future discussion.
Thank you very much,
Thank
sir.
you.
So we can have a break of, before that, I would like to request Director Sir, Sri Pawan Srivastava sir, to please present mementos to the guest speakers. Dr. Rita Savla, ma'am. Mr. Rahul. We can have a break of 10 minutes, a quick break of